If you like this video, click on that subscribe button and be notified of more great ideas. Here's what we use to start the process of drilling a hole. It is kind of like a center drill. And it was originally designed or meant to be used for drilling a hole in glass. And there it's mounted in the drill chuck, and we're just going to get things started with this before we go to our 3/8 drill. There's the hole that the center drill made, if you want to call it that. And make sure your 3/8 cement drill has a very sharp leading edge on it, or it's not going to cut well. I don't normally waste time showing machining, but I'm going to let this run till we're through the hole so you can see just about how long it takes to do the job. After flipping over the granite, we're now on the back side of those holes. I'm going to use a 3/8 dowel. You could use 3/8 drill rod or even a 3/8 drill, and use it to make sure that you're lined up properly to go in that hole. Just check it again here, and it goes in nicely, so we know that we're lined up. Now we're going to counter bore that to accept the nuts for a 3/8 thread. Those nuts, in my case at least, are just under 5/8. You might want to check that. You might have to put those nuts in the lathe and take a little bit off so that they will fit into a 5/8 hole. I didn't have a 5/8 carbide mill cutter, so I used a router bit, a carbide router bit that was 5/8, and it just worked just fine. And when you're drilling the holes for the nuts to fit into, you can just check and make sure that the nut is below the surface of the granite. We don't want it sticking out there, so please do that. And here we've got the nuts epoxied into the holes and held there by the screws that went through from the other side. Now, when I put those screws in, I didn't want to get any epoxy on the threads, so I put a paper towel around them like that. Stuff them in the hole, and then put the nuts in and turn the bottom of the screw to draw the nuts down. There was a little residue around here of the glue, and I wiped that off, but if you don't get it all, it'll come off here with a piece of sandpaper or a sanding block. My epoxy dried, and I just removed the two screws from the holes, and I'm very pleased that I used the paper towel, because if I hadn't, these would be stuck pretty darn tight. There was some epoxy on here, and I was able to get the screws out, and then I used this wire brush and just ran it through the holes to clear the threads of the paper towel, and that seemed to work pretty good for doing that. And here is our spin index mounted on the Granite with a couple of Allen head screws. That won't move now while you're checking the run out of whatever you're checking the run out of.